He's shipping quite a few jabs. So certainly already you can see the improvement Freddie Roach has made in Pacquiao.
Perfect strategy so far. Not much head movement from Hernandez. He does tend to come at you in quite straight lines. And Pacquiao just boxing him, picking him up, then moving away again to the side and looking very, very impressive early on. He's got 11 defeats on his record, but he could be a late springer in this business. Maybe. It's early, though.
Yeah, well, Hernandez is kind of stumbling forward there. Not looking sharp in the slightest. The southpaw jab is giving him problems. Getting into range is giving him problems. Not the first round he was hoping for.
It's an electrifying start, this, by Manny Pacquiao's younger brother. Manny himself due to fight a rematch with Eric Morales in January.
I mean, the only good thing for Hernandez in this round, he's made Pacquiao work for every second of it. We know how tough Hernandez is. We expect he'll be there at the end. So maybe that's his plan. Maybe he reckons, make this kid work. He can't do it for 10 rounds.
Really good opening first round. Hernandez starting to get there with some right hands towards the last few seconds of the round, but it's been Pacquiao's round. He's looked impressive. He'll have to stay on the move. The danger would be that body punches might slow him up as he goes on. And remember the extra grit and experience of Hernandez as well. Well, they'll be happy in that corner because Pacquiao starting very well.
Hernandez did manage to get himself into the action in the last 30 seconds or so. But excellent opening round for Pacquiao.
His record is 25 wins, 11 defeats and 3 draws going into this. Earlier this year, he was knocked out in 9 rounds in a Pan-Pacific fight in the Far East against Fra Rakitian, which is even harder to say than to beat him. Good start.
He's throwing excellent punches, Pacquiao, but you still get the feeling that Hernandez's strength could be a problem the longer this goes, but he's picking them nicely, but he's still being forced to work at a pace I don't know he's all that comfortable with.
Some quite punishing looking right hands coming in now from Hernandez, and Pacquiao's just forgetting now to stop moving away to the side. He's forgotten the lateral movement bit of the strategy for a moment.
Well, Hernandez, who's not a massive puncher, but his punches are having an effect on Pacquiao. They're stopping him working and they're forcing him to back up, but still his own punches are looking sharp.
Now this guy's lived in the shadow of his far more famous brother. He's basically looked like not much more than a journeyman a lot of the time, but he's buckled down to his training properly in recent months since that win over Carlos Navarro, and sometimes that can have a spectacular effect.
I just feel that so many stoppage defeats on his record. I mean, there has to be serious problems when you move up to this level.
Yep, stopped or knocked out 6 times, Jim, just to underline your point.
Yep, Hernandez, nothing cute, nothing clever, just walking straight forward, just trying to outstrength Pacquiao. Already he's looking an awful lot stronger than Pacquiao.
Just looking to wear him down and slow him down with those thuds into the hooks, into the body from Hernandez. There's another one there, right into the ribcage. He knows what he's doing. He's been around this business a long time. What a great right uppercut that was, though, from Pacquiao, who's got very fast hands. This is a good fight.
Yeah, I think the cleaner punch is still coming from Pacquiao, but I still get the feeling he is really busting a gut to keep himself in this fight. Hernandez is looking so tough, and it's his style of fight. He's making it his style of fight, and that could be a problem for Pacquiao.
He's going to have to be cute, and he's starting to ship a bit of punishment here. Hernandez senses that he's weakened him with one of those and closes in. A great right uppercut on the inside from Hernandez there. And Pacquiao is finding here that the class gap that seemed to be there on paper is there in the ring as well.
This is not the way Pacquiao wants to fight. Hernandez is making his point.
Oh, he's got a punch! Left hand from Pacquiao. Touchdown by Hernandez. And he'll have to take a count. That hasn't happened very often.
5, 6.
It's a dramatic one.
7, 8. Give me your gloves.
A very long 8 count, I thought, from Toby Gibson. And the bell came at a great time for Hernandez. Absolutely perfect. He gets another minute to recover. It was a flash knockdown, but it certainly was from a left-hand punch.
Yeah, well, just as it looked as though Pacquiao was beginning to struggle with the non-stop pressure of Hernandez, he came up with a perfect answer. He didn't really shake Hernandez. It was a beautiful punch, which is, as you say, flash knockdown just about sums it up. Don't think it'll have any bearing, but it'll put a nice 10-8 round on Pacquiao's card. I think he stood on his toe as well there. I wonder if we'll get a chance to see that again. I get a feeling, yep, no question it was a knockdown, no question whatsoever. But I think he actually stood on his toe as well, which happens a lot, southpaw against orthodox.
And that's a 3-point turnaround because Hernandez was going to win that round 10-9. He's now lost it 10-8. That's how they'll score it here with the knockdown. Well, well, well. Round 3. It's a pretty good start to what looks a cracking bill here.
Pacquiao holding up close right at the start of the round. That's not the best sign.
But he's fighting with real belief. And look at the handspin. He's got Hernandez going there. He was about to go for a moment. I don't know what kept him up, but a blinding combination from Pacquiao, who's got Hernandez in trouble. No doubt about it. The hands came down. He can't afford that. And only instinct kept him there on his feet. Goodness me.
Well, for someone we used to look upon as a crude slugger, he's thrown some classy punches here. The knockdown has obviously given him the confidence he needs that he can hurt this fellow. That was some burst of punching.
He's getting busted up around the face as well, taking all this Hernandez. Can he come back from that battering? Pacquiao looks within reach here of a sensational upset win, and that's a wonderful right uppercut. And again, goodness me, this is some performance and a very, very well-prepared fighter by Freddie Roach. But will this fight turn again? You wonder, don't you?
Well, Pacquiao has put out an awful lot of work in this round. We still have half the round to go. Hernandez bleeding now from the nose. Can he turn this around again?
He's still there. The danger for Pacquiao is that he punches himself out. And he is just tarring and takes a right hand and then a left hook as well from Hernandez. I tell you what, the big fights on this bill are going to have to go some to match this. And now it's Pacquiao in trouble from 2 right hands, 3 right hands, and a body punch. What a comeback from Hernandez. Grandstand stuff here. The crowd are on their feet around this arena.
Once again, he proves he's one of the toughest guys in the business. This is unbelievable.
Sensational fight you're watching here. Hernandez on the brink of defeat, it seemed, has come back almost Corrales style to dominate the round.
But Hernandez has proved so often in the past he can take these punches. Pacquiao has not.
You just wonder which way this thing's going to turn next. Hernandez has come back very, very strongly in the last minute of the round, but he was on the brink of defeat in the early part of it. Worth remembering that Pacquiao's been the man who's been often stopped in the past. Oh, wow. That was one of the great rounds, Jim.
That was unbelievable. You hear the old phrase, a story of 2 halves. That's what that was. Pacquiao, I still feel he's been forced to box at a pace he wouldn't be all that comfortable with at this level, whereas Hernandez in the past has proved he can do this. He's done it for 12 rounds, I'm sure he can do it for 10. But the way Hernandez turned that fight around was unbelievable. It just reminds you once again how tough he is. I mean, at the start of the round, it looked as though there was possibilities he was going on the floor again, could even be stopped. But he can take the shots. He can take what Pacquiao's dishing out, then he turns it all the way around, and suddenly you see Pacquiao all over the place. Can't really deal with the strength and the power. But an unbelievable turnaround and an unbelievable round.
Well, you'd better believe it. It just happened in front of you. Here's round 4. Black trunks, remember, the former IBF super featherweight champion Carlos Hernandez, who's really having to go to the well here against Bobby Pacquiao, who knows he's in the best opportunity he's ever going to have. Plucked from the chorus line to be a star tonight, Bobby Pacquiao. Can he take that opportunity? He must have thought he was on the very brink of winning in that last round, but Hernandez looks so strong and determined and nails him with another right hand there.
Well, it's still the type of action that Hernandez looks for. He's comfortable with this. He's done it all through his career. Defense is a little bit better. He's blocking some of Pacquiao's punches now. Heads banging together.
Which might be the least of their problems. Another good shot from Hernandez, just looking to pick the punches a little more, perhaps.
Slight drop in pace in Pacquiao's work. Can't allow Hernandez to get into the driving seat here.
Hernandez, who failed in 2 world title attempts before he became a world champion against Gennaro Hernandez, no relation, and Floyd Mayweather in a WBC title shot. Then he won it against David Santos and then defended against Steve Forbes. Coincidentally, both technical decisions, which is an odd one.
See, he's looking so much stronger now, Hernandez. The experience of having done this so often in the past. I mean, the punches he took from Eric Morales that night were unbelievable, and still contesting it right to the end. So he's used to this, doesn't complain about a thing.
Quite free with the head again there, I thought, Hernandez, as he closed in. As the storm subsided from Pacquiao, Hernandez looks to have taken control here in the 4th. Body shot was a good one. Left hand to the body, just a little bit less steady on his feet, Pacquiao, and 2 more shots to the rib. He might be beginning to unravel here, you know. Pacquiao, Hernandez senses it.
Yep, and the difference in strength just being exaggerated now. Hernandez beginning to bully Pacquiao a little bit now.
Every time you watch it, you're reflecting what remarkable men professional boxers often are. Here's another example.
I thought Hernandez looked a little bit fleshy at the weigh-in yesterday, but there's nothing wrong with his condition. This is a real pace.
He came in 2 pounds over the super featherweight limit at 9'6", Hernandez, but he won that round, no doubt about it. Welcome back to the Thomas and Mack Center on the outskirts of Las Vegas, where Carlos Hernandez suddenly looks to have taken control here against Bobby Pacquiao.
That's the first time Hernandez has managed to impose himself on Pacquiao for a complete round. Not the best round for Bobby Pacquiao. Must have dented his confidence there.
Here's round 5. Black trunks of old famoso himself, Carlos Hernandez, from California by way of El Salvador. By the way, that time he was down earlier on in the fight was only the 2nd time in his career that Hernandez had visited the canvas. The other time was against Moises Pedrosa. Again, the heads banging together, Jim.
Yep, that's happened once or twice. The referee's kept out of it. I don't think he feels it's intentional. But Pacquiao trying to use some boxing skills here. But Hernandez getting close, the jab not keeping him away. Stealing points with it, but it's not discouraging Hernandez, they're keeping him away.
Well, he's got a 10-year advantage here in his favour, Pacquiao, if nothing else. This, again, clash of heads. Big problem that's becoming. Often happens when you get an orthodox fighter against the southpaw. Jim will know that. He used to be one, of course.
Not the same snap in Hernandez's punches so far in this round. He's giving Pacquiao just a little bit more time to get his boxing together.
You just wonder how many hard fights can Carlos Hernandez have. I mean, he keeps on doing this. He's 34 though now. Great left uppercut from him on the inside.
Well, Hernandez has not imposed himself this round the way he did the previous one. Slight change of tactics from Bobby Pacquiao.
He's trying to box him now, trying to box and move. Whether he can do that is quite another thing. I think the instinct is for him to be dragged into a brawl. I think it's what he likes doing best. It's what he did earlier on in his career when he had the reputation of being just a bit wild and, let's face it, a bit vulnerable too.
Some scrappy work in this round, but that's to be expected. They've both used up an awful lot of steam.
Yeah, I think we'll let them off that, won't we?
I think so, yeah.
Provided so far. It's not bad strategy, this, though, from Pacquiao.
He's boxed well, yeah, but he's just getting that little bit more time because Hernandez's pace has dropped.
Maybe Pacquiao just doing enough, maybe, to come back and nick this one, although it's a good finish from Hernandez.
Jab, he can't set, okay?
Well, remember, this is a non-title 10-rounder, so we are at the halfway point.
He's breaking down, okay?
Bobby, pagpasok niya, side na ka,
Well, Freddie Roach a lot happier with that round because Pacquiao was finding a little bit of space, a little bit of time to get his punches off, and really boxed well there. Hernandez has to raise the pace again, get himself back in control.
Sixth round, black trunks from the former world champion Carlos Hernandez, and a fast start here from Pacquiao. I just wonder if he's had a bit of a second wind. There's your scorecard, Jim.
Yep, 2 points in it. So, wonder if the judges are seeing this differently. I don't know.
And a 10-8 round for Pacquiao, we think, in the second, with that knockdown, only the second of Hernandez's career. Just wonder which way this thing's going to turn next, don't you? It's hard to predict because both men, at different points, have seemed in crisis.
I think Hernandez is about to complain again about the heads coming together. It's not often we see him complaining in a fight.
Watch your hand, watch your hand.
Watch your head, says the referee Toby Gibson to Pacquiao. He's begun to pick up the thread again after that bad round in the fourth. The third was a wonderful, wonderful round. I couldn't split them. I really couldn't, and scored it even. I've got Pacquiao ahead by 3 on my card.
Hernandez has definitely slowed down a little bit, not the same intensity in his attacks.
And you wouldn't call him a 4-1 on favourite at the moment, which is what he was with the sports books, as they call them here, betting shops as we know them.
Well, I think Pacquiao is showing a fair bit of grit now. Up close, he's holding his own with Hernandez. He's not been pushed around.
But Hernandez's extra experience of these long-distance, gritty battles, might that be a factor?
Yeah, I think going down the stretch could be a big problem for Pacquiao. Hernandez has done it so often, and he looks as though he's prepared to do it again.
Since that defeat against Morales, where he was magnificent in defeat, he has had a win over Al Ranchero, Juan Carlos Ramirez, as well as the defeat against Jesus Chavez in a memorable contest. ferociously committed as ever. Hernandez, value for money, pressure fighter all his career. So this is a tough one.
But I've never seen him in anything else, Ian. Every fight for Hernandez is the same. He makes them that way.
It's great stuff here. By the way, Hernandez is trained these days by Rudy Hernandez, his cousin. He used to have Amir Brisa, Carlos Monzon's old trainer. Freddie Roach, of course, with Pacquiao. And there is Manny himself, living every second of it. Seventh round, black trunks Hernandez, red Pacquiao. This is now very attritional.
Hernandez sinking in some solid-looking body shots.
Just getting a bit disorientated over on those far side now. Just clean it up a bit, I think is what the ref's going to say.
Well, that wasn't the best show of sportsmanship we saw there from Hernandez, but it's a tough old business, is it not?
So they tell me, Jim.
Good right hand there from Hernandez.
Just the quicker hands, Pacquiao. That's worked for him sometimes during this fight. It's a splendid effort from him. He's obviously a much improved fighter. Whether he's going to have improved enough to get the win here, well, we're going to find out pretty soon.
But I think he's shown he can mix it at this level. See, his lack of defence that he's had in the past, when he starts to tire, then it's going to show itself again. Has to tighten up a little bit.
This is one tough and close fight, I would suggest. Hernandez, three-punch combination was a good one, ended with the right hand, which backed Pacquiao up against the corner post. And Pacquiao hurt by one of those as well. Rather stumbled into the ropes, just fighting on instinct for a moment. Hernandez looking in control and nails him with two more.
These are sharp little short punches up close from Hernandez, digging them in. Again, looking much stronger than Pacquiao as he was in the early rounds.
Just got him going a little bit here. Pacquiao having to dig deep to stay with it. And getting a little wild with his punches as well, a sign of tiredness from Pacquiao, no wonder.
Yep, and Hernandez not giving him the time now to find the space to use the southpaw jab, just staying right on top of him. Imposing himself again as he was a couple of rounds ago. Another tough round for Pacquiao.
And the freshness has gone out of him. He was again hurt by a left hook to the body, then a right to the head. Keeps coming back and looks to throw leather himself, but now Hernandez's defense has improved. He's parrying a few, blocking a few, slipping a few, and finding better punches of his own. Just showing that he is maybe the superior craftsman of these two.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering if experience is going to be the big difference between the guys at this level. Pacquiao making a lot of mistakes. His defenses are deserting him. But he's taking Hernandez's punches and taking them well.
But it was a big round for Hernandez, a big round. Here's what Freddie Roach has to say, shall we?
Hi, Bobby. Bobby, you don't want to fight from the outside. You want to fight inside, you can let your hands go. All right? Go ahead.
Sabi nito, sumuntok ka sa loob, sumuntok ka na sumuntok. Kung sa labas ka, laro ka.
He's walking right into the straight.
Well, he was a tired-looking man in that corner, Bobby Pacquiao. He was facing the floor as Freddie Roach was speaking to him. That was a tough round. I wonder if deep down inside things have gone wrong in the past. Is he expecting that to happen again here? Acquitted himself so well up to now. And things very, very close on this one.
Hernandez would still be in the world's top 5 or 6 in this division. Barrera, pretty much the boss of it. I suppose Morales is still a super featherweight. He lost, of course, in a shock against Rahim at lightweight recently. See, Pacquiao after the rest can start fast in the round, but you just feel that Hernandez is the one with a bit more in the tank at this stage.
Well, these are the tactics that were successful for Pacquiao earlier, when he found a little bit of space and got the long punches going. But sustaining it against a man who's bulling forward, it's not easy.
He's really trying his heart out, Pacquiao. He's obviously prepared well. I think he might have been stopped by now if he hadn't. He's needed his resilience.
But we just wonder how many more of these fights can Carlos Hernandez be involved in. These are so punishing. Good right hand. See, Pacquiao's defense is just leaky at times now.
But he's made a good start to this round. He's throwing plenty of leather, Pacquiao. He's just wasting a few more, though, than Hernandez. Short little hooks from Hernandez have been quite eye-catching. And then the right hand over the top. He's just finding the gaps that bit better.
And he's having the last word in a lot of these exchanges too, Hernandez. Good uppercut from Pacquiao, but Hernandez comes right through it.
Neither of them, by the way, with the reputation of being big knockout artists. About half of Hernandez's wins inside schedule, same with Pacquiao.
I mean, a lot of these rounds have been really tough to score. I've leaned towards Hernandez in a couple of them just because he's looked the boss. He's just been that little bit busier, but a lot of the time the clean punches have been coming from Pacquiao. So it's one of these pick what you like type of fights.
Yeah, maybe Pacquiao had an early lead and Hernandez did need to come back. And they had that knockdown round as well, and he certainly won the first. Tight call, maybe. Pacquiao backed up. He started the round quite quickly, but Hernandez has just clawed it back again, as he's wont to do.
See, I just get the feeling in a lot of these rounds that Pacquiao is the one who's really struggling to hang on in. It's not the kind of fight he wanted against Hernandez, but he has no choice.
Flipped around the ear, literally, with a right hand from Hernandez, who just finished the round that bit stronger. Hope you're enjoying this. Certainly worth staying up for, I would think, and more to come, certainly in prospect anyway. There's confirmation that Pacquiao has, in fact, been beaten inside schedule 6 times, but certainly grittier tonight.
All right? You've got to go out there and work, okay? Now, you've got to throw hard shots like you mean it out there, okay, son? All right?
Of course, Freddie Roach had Tyson a bit, didn't he, towards the end of his career?
Yeah, I like Freddie Roach's corner work. There's never any panic in what he tells his fighters. He's always a matter of fact, so no matter what goes on in the round, he doesn't change. It's nice and calm and usually good advice.
Yeah, the least alarmed corner man, I think, around is Freddie. Steve Collins, his old trainer, of course. 9th round, and Hernandez came out and tried to nail Pacquiao with a surprise right hand right at the start there. You can't help but like Carlos Hernandez's story of coming from poverty and hard times. Many managers, many trainers, world champion 3rd time of asking, featuring in a lot of great fights. Getting towards the end of the road here, but he will not believe that he's anywhere near the end of the road.
Well, they can't complain here because all the way through it's been his style of fight. He's had to go looking for Pacquiao a lot of the time, but he's usually found him. So it's been his style of fight. So no complaints. He should really be beginning to take over now with his experience.
He's just got a slightly more bedraggled and less confident look about him in the last couple of rounds, Bobby Pacquiao. But it might be one of those fights where he gains even in defeat.
Yeah, well, he's proved he can mix it world class, and keep in mind he may still be winning this.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm leaning towards Hernandez in the last few rounds because he's looked at the best. You know, he's looked the better of the two, and his punches up close have been impressive. But he's still being caught in the weigh-in.
There's that body shot again from Hernandez. Left hook to the body. Favoured punch of his. Flashy burst from Pacquiao. But there's not been quite the snap there was early on.
And I don't think they're finding the target the way they were earlier either. I think Hernandez is blocking a lot of the leads. Didn't block that one.
Just a hint of desperation about that left hand from Pacquiao, who's really fighting at the very edge and limit, you feel, of his ability to stay in this fight, and give him a lot of credit for that. But this is quite close maybe on the card still. Back he comes again. Pacquiao, there's a lovely fast left hand from him, whipped in from that southpaw stance.
I mean, lots of these rounds you're tempted to score them even, but I don't like scoring even rounds unless I really have to. This is another round where I just feel that Hernandez just looks that bit more in the driving seat.
Fast-paced, intense fight, and the crowd here are loving it. Tremendous action, really, from both of them. Hernandez finds a nice right hand at the end of that flurry.
Again, he finishes the stronger. I think the natural strength of Hernandez has been an advantage all the way through.
But a rattling good effort, nonetheless, from Bobby Pacquiao. There is Rudy Hernandez, cousin of Carlos. 15 fights of over 10 rounds or more, that says it, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, he's been here so often, and that's the look he has. He's still comfortable in there.
You hear me? All right? Go out there and fight this guy hard, okay? You can knock this guy down again, can't you? Lose both hands and go out there and do it. You hear me?
Jose Luis Castillo arrives at the arena, having satisfied everybody by being 10.5 stone, a few pounds over, of course. They put on weight overnight. And Corrales here, still the favourite for the fight, who had to make the weight authentically yesterday. Strange days indeed. Here's the 10th and final round of this.
Yeah, well, as you can see, Hernandez turning things all the way around. I just think his experience and his ability to dig in that little bit deeper, I've leaned towards him in the last 3 rounds or so. But who knows the way the judges have got it. And here Pacquiao trying to impose himself here.
I had it back to Hernandez by 1 going into this last round, having given Pacquiao an early lead in the fight. Both of them will throw everything in this final round. They certainly won't want to leave anything to chance with the judges. And Pacquiao again starting quick.
I get the feeling, listening to Freddie Roach, that maybe he felt Bobby Pacquiao had to come up with something special. I think maybe he felt, listening to him, that maybe the fight was slipping away.
Yeah. It seemed to be the theme, didn't it? Just give him both barrels, and he did there with a left hand. That was a really good shot from Pacquiao, and Hernandez walked onto that one. A bruising battle, to be sure. They're both tired now, and why wouldn't they be?
Yep, Pacquiao giving as good as he's getting in this round. I wonder, maybe does Hernandez feel he has enough on the cards to not coasting now.
Tremendous effort this from Pacquiao, who's trying very, very hard to carry out Freddie Roach's instructions and really take it to Hernandez and get this last round and then see what the judges' scorecards say.
I think Freddie felt that Pacquiao could outbox Hernandez, but it hasn't really been a boxing match. It's really been a slugfest, which has suited Hernandez. Just throwing to the side there.
He almost wrestled him through the ropes. There was a right hand as well from Hernandez, who tends to finish the rounds more strongly when Pacquiao starts them a bit quicker. Of course, that's a cagey old ploy because it's the last thing the judges remember. It's really been a good fight, this. Terrific stuff. Pacquiao looking to keep up the work rate, and I think in this round so far, I'd say he'd outworked Hernandez.
I can't split them in this round. Tremendous finish to a tremendous battle here.
Magnificent action. Right hand from Hernandez. He's had a good last half minute again, but how do you score this? I tell you what, that might be a good draw as well. People are on their feet, including Mark Ratner, the boss of the Nevada State Athletic Commission, and that was a rattling good fight.
Yep, round after round after round. I have Hernandez a couple of points up at the finish here, but you can see I have the way he turned the fight around just with his sheer strength and work rate. But maybe if the classy boxing in the middle rounds and the cleaner punching of Pacquiao was what you were looking for, the judges may see something else. But I'm happy that Hernandez did enough to win that one.
Well, I've got it 95 each at the end of that. I gave Pacquiao just that last round, but it was too close to have a serious argument. Certainly Hernandez seemed to take over in the second half of the fight.
Yeah, well, in the early stages, that was a knockdown. As I say, it was a flash knockdown, didn't have any bearing in the fight. But at this point, Pacquiao was looking so sharp and accurate. But then, with every round that come by, you could see the strength and condition and experience of Hernandez getting him right back into the fight again. In so many rounds, I just felt he was in control, he was in the driving seat.
But not in a major way, just maybe enough.
Not just an edge. That's why I would not argue with the verdict. It was an edge he had in a lot of rounds. He didn't dominate. Maybe a couple of rounds he dominated, but not too many. So I will not be surprised whichever way this one goes.
Judges are Dwayne Ford, Chuck Giampa, familiar names those, and Robert Hoyle, one of the newer officials in Las Vegas. And it's taking a bit of time as well. Doesn't matter as long as they get it right. One or two instances of the WBC in particular calling the wrong result in fights and then having to change it later. You don't want that. What a warrior he is, Carlos Hernandez. And Bobby Pacquiao, fine effort. I think he might have damaged a hand as well. There's Veronica, psychologist, wife, advisor, mentor for Carlos Hernandez. She, by the way, is Mexican. But she says if it's a Mexican El Salvador battle in the ring, it's Carlos that pays the bills.
And you can see both corners are concerned looks. I think they both realise it's close.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of action, we have a split decision. Here are the score totals. Judging ringside, Robert Hoyle scores the bout 97-92 in favor of Carlos Hernandez. Judging ringside, Chuck Giampa scores about 95-94 in favor of Bobby Pacquiao. Judging ringside, Dwayne Ford scores about 95-93 in favor of the winner, Bobby Pacquiao.
What a win for Bobby Pacquiao. Hernandez has been beaten, and there are shocks and one or two boos around the arena. Most people thought Hernandez had maybe done enough, as Jim did. I had it level, but the third judge there, Dwayne Ford, gives it to Pacquiao, and that is the win of his career and a major setback for Carlos Hernandez.
Well, you can't grudge him the victory, Ian, because he certainly put every ounce he had into that fight. I didn't agree with the decision, but I said it was one I wouldn't argue with, and I won't argue. What a wonderful fight.
The winner, though, is Bobby Pacquiao.
Hernandez on a split decision, but Spencer, has Bobby Pacquiao arrived with that victory?
I think he certainly arrived. He proved that he can fight. I mean, previously 11 defeats, 6 inside the distance. He proved that he could take a good shot there. I mean, I've got a feel for Hernandez. I really did think he won it. I thought he won it by a couple of points. Pacquiao started very well. I had him winning the first 2 or 3 rounds. Good knockdown in the second round. But then from then on, I thought Hernandez used his experience, just wore Pacquiao down, and I thought that he won the fight.
Johnny, the word from ringside, we understand Freddie Roach reportedly said it should have been Hernandez.
I'm not going to sit on the fence. I'm very uncomfortable with the decision. I thought Hernandez won it by at least 3 rounds. As soon as they said, oh, we're waiting for the judge's decision, the referee's, the decision to be announced, I thought, oh no, here we go again. It wasn't nice, it wasn't comfortable, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah, I thought it was quite clear. 7 rounds to 3 with the 1 2-point round.
In Hernandez's favour.
In Hernandez's favour. I mean, Pacquiao obviously has learned to box under Freddie Roach, and he's learned a lot, and he's a young man, 24, although he's pretty old for 24. And the amount of fights he did, that was his 40th fight. But, you know, it was a very, very good fight, and a very good start by both. Remember, Pacquiao was sharp, you know, and that knockdown in the second was a really good punch. I mean, Hernandez, only the second time in his long career that he went over. And
Jim thought there might have been some standing on toes at that moment to help.
Not at the time of the knockdown. He stood on his toe as he went down. But I think this was a mistake. This was a big turning point in the fight for me, because Pacquiao used so much energy in the start of the third. I think it was foolish thinking he could stop Hernandez.
I think he was best at long range when he was moving and letting those combinations go. He had the greater hand speed. When he was moving, Hernandez had a lot of problems. But Hernandez ended up closing the gap and getting Pacquiao to stand there and trade. And that's when Hernandez was taking over.
Pacquiao was sort of holding his breath as he was throwing the shots off. And the first half of the fight, he exerted all his energy and it looked impressive. Then Hernandez took over slowly but surely, like a magician in front of you. And to me, the second half of the fight, he ruled it. It wasn't as clear cut, but he ruled it. Pacquiao's shots were crisper. The ones he threw that landed, they were crisper, more accurate. But Hernandez, he put the pressure on right. He turned the fight around well. The body shots were hitting Pacquiao.